Welcome, everybody, to the Always Sunny in Philadelphia podcast that nobody asked for. I am, for the first time, hosting with my co-host, and my name is Betsy Hayes. Of course, you all know me by now, hopefully. And I would love to introduce to you my co-host for this special episode, Matt Mentley.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on this one. Very excited.
Very
I got a
excited
lot
to
of
have
notes.
you.
Big fan of the show.
Yes,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So this episode that we're doing is called Flowers for Charlie.
Yes.
Now, do you know what Flowers for Charlie is a reference to?
It's a play. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't really know it though.
I just briefly looked it up, and it's a
Oh.
play and has a lot of similarities between Charlie in Always Sunny and Charlie in the play.
Yeah. I would love to check it out. The one of the interesting things about this show is, did you catch who wrote it?
I did.
Are you a Thrones person?
I watch Thrones.
I do not. So it's not a deal to me. But it's written by Game of Thrones guys.
Yeah, and apparently they're in an episode later on. I also read that.
Well, we'll have to Easter egg that when it comes up.
Ooh. In this podcast, we always talk about the opening scene. Matt,
Yes.
give me your first thoughts.
Well, what do we have here? So the start is quite unusual.
Go on.
I mean, they're in a lab. The gang is fighting immediately about smartness, and they're talking about Max thinks the guy from Die Hard is smart. It's pretty dumb right off the bat. It moves really slowly, right? So like these doctors come up, Dee wants to bang them to get the gig right off the bat. Dee's ready to bang.
Right. They're all trying to become the one guy that they're going to do the experiment on because they learn that you get compensated.
They think it's for smart. Yes,
they think it's for smart.
For a smartness. So they're coming in like, I'm smart or whatever.
Yeah, you, I, and him. They keep doing grammar things throughout.
To show they're so fucking smart.
And I love Mac. One of the quotes I wrote down was, I got street smarts. I got street smarts.
They're so adamant about it. Yes, that's all you need. That's all John McClane had.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Bruce Willis he dropped out of college.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Bruce Willis drops out of college, so John McClane, it's pretty dumb. But then, we get to Charlie then. Like.
And Charlie's doing what he does best, which is catch rats. Because he's the janitor.
He's ready to bash the rat right away.
Yeah, right away. And then, so they start talking. I don't know if I like hosting because I didn't even talk about the thing that I liked. What? I'm so much more comfortable with you hosting.
Say it. Say what you like. You have control over the whole thing.
I know, but there's a lot of pressure.
There's no pressure, dude. That's the point. What was your favorite thing?
I liked when
the opening scene.
Dee said, in case I was being unclear, nerds, I will bang one or both of you.
She is, wow. No shame on that.
No shame. She wants that $1,000.
Just work for it, Dee. But of course not. But yeah.
So we get to Charlie.
He's touching the cheese. He doesn't understand it. Yeah, it was such a bizarre, I guess that was why I said it was just a weird opening. Yeah, because it's really slow. They get to Charlie. There's like music behind it that's usually not associated with It's Always Sunny. Like, the pacing's weird, the music's different. And it was great. Because Charlie just wants that cheese.
He wanted, and I kind of, honestly, I was like, I get it, Charlie. You wanted that cheese. You didn't want it, not because it was hurting you, but there was something different about that other cheese.
If anyone would identify with Charlie on that subject, it would be Betsy Hayes. So yes, I can see how you guys bond over that subject.
You get a feeling about a piece of cheese.
Even if you get zapped by it, dude.
Exactly. Yes, it's special. It's special cheese.
So that's all I had. Opening scene.
Yeah. So they present this pill to Charlie, and they say, if you take this, it will make you smarter.
Yes.
And then immediately, he starts thinking that he's smarter.
Well, I do have a question for you. Like, since I've seen the episode a billion times, was this your first time?
No, I had seen this episode before.
Okay, but one time. So, were you fooled the first time? Did you think he was getting smarter? I had conflicting feelings the first time, I remember, of just like, well, I don't know. It's also a show. They can do that. He could get smarter. They can just write that in. But were you fooled? Did you think it or not?
I think the first time I saw it, I was. Yeah.
Which way?
I was fooled. I was like, yes. I wonder if this pill did something.
Yeah,
but then the second time I watched it, I was like, oh, they're clearly just fucking with this person.
Well, because he's speaking Mandarin. That's such a big plot point of it, right? And so he's like, "Ashosho." So once you like realize he's just, but the first time you're watching it, you're like, I don't know Mandarin, so like, is he speaking Mandarin?
According to what I looked up, Charlie Day was speaking gibberish, and he was making it up.
A Foco shoe. I just remember a couple of his little things. But yeah, the first time through, you're like, well, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, and the doctor was speaking back to him, so I was like, he might be communicating.
Right. But the doctor's just trying to get like, he doesn't say one thing or the other. When you watch it on multiple times,
okay,
it's like the doctor is just being like, what do you think about that, Charlie? Like, he's not even really interjecting and saying, like, encouraging him. He's just letting Charlie just lose his mind in front of him.
He does convince him that he's speaking Mandarin by speaking it back to him. So,
that's
that's foul play, I think.
You're right. Good catch.
That was the one problem that I had with it. And I also wrote down all the smart placebos for Charlie because, you're right. We don't know Mandarin. But I was like, he could start speaking Mandarin. He could be doing all these things. If he had the idea that he's smarter now, maybe that's all he needed. So I was like, he should just get more pills. But then as we see, that's clearly not healthy for him at all.
Right. And another question for you. Do you think Charlie just experiences that ringing in his ear all the time? And we just never, as an audience member, ever are in on it?
I don't think so. I think it was special to him trying to overexert himself.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I could go with that.
So then we move on to...
Well, Frank gets really jealous, though.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Frank doesn't like it.
We're on the same page. It's almost like we've done this a million times. Frank is so mad. And I think it's cute because he tries to like identify with Charlie a little bit.
He does. He has a dictionary.
Yeah.
He tries to learn. He probably actually does learn it.
Right. It's like a very rare, nice Frank moment.
It was very wholesome. And he wasn't that gross this episode, now that I think about it.
He was very grounded. In a weird way, Frank is very grounded in this episode, which makes it even more peculiar. Because, he's being really nice. He's got the little booklet. He's trying to identify with Charlie. Yeah.
It's so cute. It's really cute. And he wants to do the gruesome twosome Tuesday. The gruesome
twosome, baby! I don't even remember them saying that much over the course of the series.
So a big plot point is that Charlie, because he is on this new pill, has decided he no longer wants to do his janitorial duties, and he's challenging the rest of the crew to pick up the slack.
Which they are not doing a good job of.
Did you think that they would?
Well, they are like so stupid in this episode. Like maybe the dumbest we've ever seen them, and that is saying a lot.
It really made me think a few things. It made me think, wow, these people are so American. When they're huffing the gas. It's like, who else would do that? And we definitely did that. When you could smell gas at the gas, I did that. I was like, oh, it smells good. So, I relate.
Well, they immediately get high on gas. I don't know what sniffing gasoline to the point where you're getting high. Have you done that?
No, I
Or you're
haven't
just
done it.
saying doing the one thing and you're like, whoa.
Yes,
I've
I get it.
never done it enough to get to the state of like laying down or whatever, but they're
No.
like huffing it.
Yeah. And then the other thought that I had was, this is like during the day, and I'm like, don't they have a bar to run?
Well, it's a slow bar, Betsy.
It's a
There's
slow
not
bar.
much.
It's also during the day. I give them that. But
Yeah,
this is what these these business people are doing with their time, huffing gas, and Dee has her goddamn hand stuck in the wall.
well, and then I mean, I'll just jump right ahead. She's so fucking stupid, dude, that she's holding on to it. That's how stupid they are in this episode. That's pretty stupid.
I think that was my favorite part. I mean, Dee always has my heart. And Deandra, are you holding on to the trap? And she looks at him like, oh.
And she pulls it out. She's like, no. Beautiful.
Oh, man.
Yeah, a great.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to get away with that because it is so fucking stupid, dude. You're holding onto the trap. Like, oh my god.
I would say kudos to Caitlin Olsen because she really had to act her ass off.
Absolutely.
To be that ridiculous, yeah.
They're getting bested by this rat.
Yeah. Oh, I think this rat might be smarter than we thought. Dennis is trying to seduce it with music and brie.
What was that? That was a weird sidetrack from the plot right there, but
that's just them trying to make Mac gay more.
Oh, I have a funny. I know in the show you pick the best quote. So I have one. Charlie says this. He's just rambling things during the experiment and stuff like that. So I wrote down just a quick Charlie line. Stephen Hawking is as much of a Lady Gaga than Johann Sebastian is. It's all pop culture, like the Kardashians. So that's his ramblings. He's just throwing in these words I think he heard maybe that day and hopes that they make sense.
Yeah. That's an interesting way to look at it.
Stephen Hawking, Lady Gaga, Johann Sebastian Bach, and the Kardashians, yeah.
Well, yeah, the whole time I'm watching this, I'm thinking, what if all it took for Charlie was to be told, hey, you're smart now, and for him to, go, and if it wasn't for the ringing in his, yeah, exactly, the belief in himself, because I'm thinking that the doctor really was interfering by speaking Mandarin back to him, playing chess with him. He wasn't just observing and writing things down. He was fully engaging. It felt like that's why Charlie got all big-headed with the waitress.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, I have new friends. I have new colleagues.
And he saw him as a friend. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm like shitting on that doctor. He should feel bad. Bad karma.
Fair enough. Bad karma for the doctors. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, so that was the chess scene. Then they huff the gas, and then let's get to the waitress scene, where Danny DeVito's character Frank pays her $500 to go. That's how upset he is. He
cares so much. He cares $500 worth. He doesn't even give her $50. That's a lot of money.
Again, back to what I've said before: is Frank a good businessman?
Yes, he is the warthog. There's a couple episodes that I think you've missed on this.
Damn it.
He makes money. Like, he just will go into any situation and make money. So he has $500 for his buddy. I loved that scene too. He's so dismissive of her, and it was
funny. Beautiful.
And she's like, she are the women I go on dates with. She's like talking about what's on Netflix and all this boring stuff and all these cake shows and all this reality TV. And it was so funny. don't remember if I wrote down exactly what she said, but she kept saying
She
a
kept saying
line.
Tabitha's something. It was Tabitha, and the way her mouth was moving, they like zoomed in on it multiple
And like
times.
had her repeat it several times. Yeah. It really is, because I felt a little like Charlie in that scene. Like, you are like, oh, this waitress, like, what?
Right, but if he had been regular Charlie, like he would have been, oh, tell me all the dumb things in your
Yes,
head because I'm way stupider.
exactly. He thinks he's better than her, and that's part of it.
I like all the things that they set up at that on that scene. They had the wine, they had the pipe, they had the
Yes.
book. It was like tasted good. I liked it.
You're right. That was a great set piece. The gigantic book, white wine,
It was
of
red wine,
course.
actually.
Oh, it
Red
was red
wine.
wine. Nice.
Mhm.
So it was like, yeah, it was something. I mean, not Charlie.
Right.
Not what Charlie was before this. So we see a transformation. Yeah, it's exciting for a moment, but it comes crashing down.
Oh, the one thing that he said during this scene, I can't remember exactly how it went, but it was something. Oh, have some of this wine to take off that uninviting edge.
Yes. Well, she is unfortunately alcoholic, which is not funny, but yeah, so he's just pushing it on her, dude.
Yeah. Oh.
He does say another just throwaway Charlie line that I did love is she approaches and they say something and he's like, brevity, it's the soul of wit. Okay, well, take a seat.
Oh, when she first gets there, yes,
Yeah,
he's like, "Oh, ha ha ha! This thing that I know now is so
brevity.
funny." Oh, do I have to put the training wheels on? That's what he
Yes.
said for this conversation.
And I swear, like, he can't read, but he's listening to these online books. We're to understand.
Oh, right, we totally went over that. Where he was like, as soon as he got the pill, he came into the bar and was like, "I've read 6 books on tape," and well, yeah, that's because you can't read. That's a that's what Dennis says.
Dennis also has a great line where he's like, because Charlie comes in, he's like, I just realized I have 2 ears. And Dennis is like, you just realized you have 2 ears?
Oh, wait. Oh, you go first. I think mine might be a note from something else.
Well, no, because we're on the home stretch there, right, host? Because we only got this one and then the last, the Charlie scene.
I wrote OMG,
Last.
but I don't know why. I think it was because she was holding onto the rat thing and I was like laughing so hard.
That could be. So the line from that one is they all are just done. They're just on the floor. And then Dee says, pass the gas. And it gets a gigantic laugh. I mean, it pass the gas. I mean, and the whole gang loves it as well. And we love it at home.
So the last scene is so great. Charlie comes into the experiment is over. Just as soon as he comes in the door, I just was rolling my eyes immediately because
he doesn't come in a door. He gets elevatored in or something.
Right, his entrance is what I mean. He has a blanket, he has the chair, he has the cane. And
I've grown quite weary.
That's it. That's what I was going to say. I've grown quite weary. And I love that I just love the way they did that because it was clearly Charlie Day riffing and it was such a profound weary. They like had to do a cut reaction to the rest of the gang. They were like, what the hell's going on? And then I was going to do the big reveal.
But reveal it up. I mean, this whole scene is just great. Reveal it all up.
He says that his whole time he was experimenting, he was trying to prove that cats and spiders could talk to each other.
Yeah. Well, that's Charlie's big reveal. Not the big reveal of the show, though. But yes, spiders talking to cats. That's when you kind of realize it's all a dream. I guess that is the big reveal of the whole thing. Because it is like, oh, well, that's just silly.
Well, here's what I'll say. was watching it and I was empathizing with Charlie the whole time.
Rooting for him.
Rooting for him. And cats and spiders, I'll just say it, they don't talk like you and I talk, but they definitely communicate.
Yeah, sure.
So,
not to each other though. And it'd be real tough. No, they do not. They eat each other.
No,
but,
they don't.
Wait, who is it? Spiders and cats?
Yeah.
Oh, cats destroy spiders all the time.
Have you ever owned a cat?
Yeah, in my family, yeah.
And they ate spiders?
They're nemesis. Oh, dude, cats pounce, dude. You have lazy cats.
I do not.
It's all in Charlie's head, though. Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, it was all a dream.
Sorry, you're disappointed. And
wasn't getting smarter. He's actually really stupid.
And you do make a good point about the scientist, because it was like it does get once you. Charlie was not winning those chess games against him, right?
Well, if I knew anything about chess, I'd be able to verify that. But I don't.
The scientist was obviously just like going along with it and not being like, no, Charlie, that's not checkmate. Like, you didn't move it correctly. So he is kind of to blame too. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I just wrote the doctor was a dick.
They're dicks. Well, and they get their comeuppance by the gang, calling them science bitches and stuff.
And saying that they couldn't even make my friends any smarter. Ha ha ha.
Wait, I don't get it. Is my friend smart or not?
I love that they just crashed this very professional science meeting. And then my favorite line at the end, while they're all walking out because they decided Charlie's dumb again, and they're going to go watch, what's the movie that they're going to go watch?
Police Academy.
And Mahoney's my favorite character. That's like the last thing he says before they leave.
That it is. It's the Police Academy theme. And my only Charlie line was, so Mac yells that, he's like, I don't get it, right? And then Charlie turns to the scientist, he's like, I don't think so. Was I smart, sir? And they're like, no. So that's all I had.
Okay, so now we have to pick the quote of the episode. Well, what do you have?
I mean, don't you think the easier is who won, right?
Yeah, definitely Charlie. I mean, who else would it be?
This was written for him by like the writers of Game of Thrones, who are very respected television writers, and they fucking nailed it, because this episode is pretty sweet.
It was very good. I definitely enjoyed it. I mean, Charlie is a favorite character, so more Charlie, the better, in my personal opinion.
Absolutely. I'm also Team Charlie.
Yeah.
But quote, I don't know. What do you got at the top of the list? There's a lot in here, actually.
Okay, the ones I have are, I got street smarts. In case I was being unclear, nerds, I will bang one or both of you.
Yeah.
You said pass the gas. I've grown weary. I think I've grown weary is my favorite one.
Ooh. It's hard not to. It would be hard not to give Charlie all the awards for this one, right?
Yeah.
Because I have stupid smart bitches. Yeah, anything in that last scene seems like it needs to win. As much as I love pass the gas. Yeah, I mean, if that's your choice, I'm not gonna fight on it.
All right, so Charlie wins the episode. Charlie wins the quote. And what would you say for wackiness scale? What do you have?
Oh, pretty grounded.
I would agree. It was pretty grounded.
If the pill worked on Charlie, and then we're getting into wacky stuff, but it doesn't.
Right, and he doesn't go that crazy, I guess.
No, like I said, I think he's listening to those books on tapes in the morning, hearing a couple of things, and just kind of being like, well, I'm smart now because I heard that one thing this morning.
Yeah, he's taking everything for face value.
Yeah.
So maybe like what is it, out of 10? Like a 3, 4?
3 out of 10. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Pretty
low.
low.
It's low. They grounded this one really well. As we said with Frank, sweet Frank. Frank's never this nice. It was nice
I
to see
know, it
Frank
was
this
nice to
nice. It
see
was
Frank.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for this episode. Flowers for Charlie. I was also not only hosting, but I was also filling in because I wasn't even supposed to do this one before.
You want to shout out Zach Nanus?
Well, I was going to say in the last episode, if you watch the one right before this, I say hi to Zach because I'm sad I'm not going to be here, but then I'm here. So it's
Pandemic busyness. We just couldn't nail down a time, and I am ready to get this season wrapped up. As we will.
Hi, Zach. You could have been here.
We were missing out.
All right. The next episode is the last one. The gang squashes their beef. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Can I come back for that one?
I don't know. I might have to see if anybody else is available.
We'll talk afterwards about this and also how we should handle problematic masculinity.
Okay, sounds good. See you then.